Hello and welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to learn almost everything about the Flexbox. This is a very important topic in modern CSS. Without knowing this Flexbox properly, you cannot create a layout for your website. Although you can use grid, but this also has some properties same as the Flexbox. Now I said almost because there are many properties associated with Flexbox and we actually don't need to use everything so often. So in this video I am going to cover the most important properties and their values. After watching this video, you will be able to do anything with Flexbox. You can create a layout of your own. So without any further ado, let's get started with it. I have a index.html and a style.css. Inside it there is a div with the class of container, and this container is containing 5 child elements. Each of them has a class of box and a class of box on 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the default boxes. I also added some styling, some universal styling to make the default margin and padding to 0. The container div has a background color and a minimum height. We cannot see the background color because it is overlapping by the boxes here. There has this background color of kind of yellowish and also a border, also some border radius and a minimum height of 80 pixels. They also have some padding. Now to initiate the Flexbox, we need to give the parent element a display of flex. So it will enable a flex context to all of its direct element, which is these divs here. So let's do that. We have the class of container and we are going to give it a display of flex. Now they will align in a flex direction. Now before diving deep into the Flexbox, we need to clear on concept first, which is the flex direction. So there are two axes, which is the flex axis and the cross axis. The default flex axis is the row, which is this direction, and the cross axis is by default the vertical direction, which is the column. Although we can change it by giving it a flex direction. These are the values of flex direction. It can be row, column, row reverse or column reverse, and the default value is row, which is currently applied on this box. This flex direction property will be applied on the parent element, which is in this case is the container. So flex direction is row. Now it is the default value and nothing will be changed, but also we can make it column. And now the main axis or the flex axis will be changed. Now the flex axis or the main axis will be changed to vertical columns. Now the row reverse and column reverse are almost same as this, but there is some differences. Suppose we want to give it a value of row reverse, and as you can see it starts from the end and aligning in the reverse direction. So the box 1 is at the last, then the box 2, box 3 and like that. And if you put column reverse, it will be at the y direction, but it will start from the bottom and goes through the top. Now let's work with the default one, which is the flex direction and row. Now let's talk about the flex wrap. So by default the flex item will all try to fit onto the same line. We cannot display it because there are only a few elements here and it is not overflowing it. So I am going to add some extra elements to demonstrate this. So let's do that. Let's add some elements here, and now they are overflowing it. As you can see, there is an scroll bar appeared at the bottom. The default value of the flex wrap is no wrap, so they will all try to fit onto the same line, but if you want to change that, you can also do that. So these are the values. The no wrap is the default. We can also make it wrap, and if we give it a value of wrap, they will try to wrap onto multiple lines from top to bottom. So let's also see that. Let's give it a class of flex wrap. The default value is no wrap, so if we do that, nothing will be changed. But if we give it a value of wrap, now they will align in different lines. So they at first try to accommodate everything in the single line. When they cannot, they push it to the second line. Now the third value of it is the wrap reverse. Now they will be aligned in similar lines, but the first line will be pushed back to the second line and the second line will be at the top line. So let's remove that and move on to the next property, which is justify content. This is actually a very important concept. The justify content and align items, these two are compulsory to work with Flex. This justify content property, it defines the alignment along the main axis or the Flex axis, which is in this case by default it is the row, or along the x axis. It helps to distribute the extra space that is left over in here in this case. So let's try it practically and see how does it works. It also have to be applied on the parent element, which is in this case is the container. Justify content, and there are multiple values available for it. These are the flex start, flex end, center, space between, space around, space evenly. So these are the values available for justify content, and we are going to see that through. So the default value of the justify content is flex start. So if you keep them a value of flex start, nothing has changed, and it starts from the starting point of the flex box. If we give this a value of flex end, it will push to the end. If you want to position them at the center of this flex box, it will be center. Now they are all in the center. The most common value we are going to use is the space between. So what it does is it will be a space between. In this case, the items will be evenly distributed in the line. The first item will be at the start point and the last item will be at the end point, and all of the space that are available will be distributed evenly among the gaps around the other boxes. Now if we put the value of space around, it will add equal amount of space around all of them. Now visually the space are not equal because it has the same amount of space at the left side of this box and the same amount at the right side of this box, and this box has also have the same amount at the left. So at the starting and at the end, the space is kind of small than this space between them. Now there is another value which is space evenly. If we applied that, it will add similar space between any two elements or even from the starting and the ending. Now these are the justify content, and the justify content will apply along the flex axis. But we can also apply the spacing around the cross axis by using align items property. So let's try that. Align items, and let's see the value available for it. So these are the values. The default value is stress. So as you can see, this box is taking the entire weight of the flex box. So that is what stress does. We can also align them at the start, end, center and baseline. So let's try them out. So now the default value is stress, so nothing will be changed. But if you try flex start, the items will be placed at the start of the cross axis, and in this case the cross axis is this one. Now if we want to change the axis, we can do that by using the flex direction. You already know that. So let's do that. Flex direction, and suppose we want the column instead of row. Now this axis is the flex axis and this is the cross axis. So justify content is applied on the rows and align items will be applied on the columns. So now they are in the flex start. If you want to make them center or end, they will be pushed to the right side. This may seems confusing, but if you remove the flex direction and restore the default value of flex direction column, it will be easier to understand, and after that you can practice with it and it will get easier for you. So now the align item has a value of flex end. We can also make them centered like that. Now they are in center. We can also use the value of baseline, and in that case the items will be aligned such as the baselines aligned, but in this case the all of the boxes has same size, so we cannot see any differences. Now these are the important properties associated with the parent elements. Now we are going to talk about some other properties associated with the child element. So let's go through that. Now at first I am going to talk about the order. So the default value of flex order is 0. So these items has separate class for box 1, box 2 like that. So I am going to target the box 3, and the lower the order is, the first the box will appear. So the box has a default order of 0, so it is aligned from source order, which is this one. Now if you want to put it at the front, it have to has the order of the lowest value. So each of the other elements has a value of 0. Now if we give it an order of -1, it will be at the front. So this is the box 3. If you want to push the box on to the end, we can also do that. For that we need to target the box on and give it a order of, we need to give this order a value more than any of this. So all of them has a default value of 0 and I am going to give it a value of 5. Now it will be at the last. So these are the orders. Now let's talk about the flex grow. So it is actually the ability for an item to grow if necessary. The default value of flex grow is 4 and it only applies if there is an extra space available. So I am going to comment the justify content and also the align items maybe, and I am going to make it center. Okay, now around the flex axis there are some extra space available here, and suppose we want the box to take the extra spaces, we can do that. So let's remove it and target the box 2, and by default the flex grow value is 0. So if we give it a flex grow and value of 2, so it will take the entire extra spaces. Now let's target the box 4 and let's give it a flex grow of 2 also. So these two has the similar flex grow, so they will distribute the extra space between them similarly. But if you want to give the box 4 twice more space than the box 2, we can also do that. Let's give this box 2 a value of on, and now this box 4 has a flex grow twice than the box 2. So it will take twice as space than this box 2. There is another value called flex shrink. It is actually the same. By default it has a value of 1 and it will act as the same manner. It will be shrink like this, and if the display size is smaller then it will be applied, other than that it will not be applied. There is one last property I want to discuss, which is align self. But before applying the align self, we need to add the align items, and which is in this case is center. So I am going to give it a flex start. Now all the items will be at the start. Let's remove that. We are actually going to use the align self to override this align items property, which is applied on the parent element. Suppose we want the flex box 4 aligned differently. So let's target the box 4 and let's give it align self. Suppose we want to align them at the end or flex end. So let's do that, flex end, and it will be at the end. We can also make it stress. Now it will take the entire right. We can also make it center by giving it a value of center. These are almost all the properties you need to learn before working with Flexbox, and this will be enough for you to start creating a layout. So I hope you have enjoyed this video very much, and if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.